ज़हनी ग़ुलामी की ज़ंजीरें तोड़ना ज़्यादा मुश्किल होता है, जो अभी अफ़गानिस्तान में ग़ुलामी की ज़ंजीरें तो तोड़ दी उन्होंने।
This was a speech given by Imran Khan, the Pakistan Prime Minister, immediately after Taliban has recaptured Kabul. So you may be wondering why there is such a positive reception for Taliban in Afghanistan and why Pakistan is obsessed with the political situation in Afghanistan. Let us explore what are the historical events and contemporary factors that shaped Pakistan's policy towards Afghanistan. I am Akhil K. Chandran and welcome to the video. Before getting into the topic, it is necessary to understand the demography of Afghanistan. The ethnic fabric of Afghanistan population is dominated by Pashtun, who constitute around 42% of the Afghanistan population. The second most prominent group is Tajiks, who constitute 27% approximately. Then comes Uzbeks 9%, Hazaras 9%, and others remaining 13%. The apple of discord between Pakistan and Afghanistan was created well before the nation Pakistan was created, that is, the Durand Line. After the defeat in Second Anglo-Afghan War, Afghanistan was forced to cede some of its territories to the British. As per the Treaty of Gandamak of 1879, Afghanistan ceded its territories like Khyber, Quetta, Pishin, Harnai, Subi and Kurram to the British India. And these territories were incorporated into Northwest Frontier Province of British India. In 1893, as per a treaty between Henry Mortimer Durand, a British diplomat, and Abdul Rahman Khan, the Emir of Afghanistan, Durand Line was established as the border between British India and Afghanistan, and thus the Pashtun heartland was split in between Afghanistan and British India. In 1919, after the victory in Third Anglo-Afghan War, Afghanistan became independent. And as we all know, in 1947, Pakistan became an independent nation. At the same time, another event occurred, that is a demand for separate state, Pashtunistan. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, a prominent freedom fighter and a Pashtun himself, along with his organization Khudai Kit Magar, were against the idea of partition of India. But when the partition became a reality, they demanded for a separate state named Pashtunistan with Pashtun-dominated areas in Pakistan. This demand was denied by the British since a referendum conducted in the Northwest Frontier Province of Pakistan, majority of people opted to stay along with Pakistan rather than becoming an independent state or joining Afghanistan. Immediately after the British had left the Indian subcontinent, the monarchy in Afghanistan refused to recognize the Durand Line as the border between these two nations. Even the last king, Zahir Shah, openly criticized Pakistan for this. More aggressive approach was taken by his Prime Minister Muhammad Dawood Khan, who later overthrew the monarchy and became the first president of Republic of Afghanistan. Not only had he refused to recognize the Durand Line, but also he claimed that the Pashtun-dominated areas in Pakistan belonged to Afghanistan. In order to make his position safe and concrete in Afghanistan and to win the popular support of the Pashtuns, he fueled Pashtun nationalism in Pakistan. He and his government gave enough support and training to Baluch guerrillas and other sectionalist groups to sabotage Pakistan. Then the Prime Minister of Pakistan, Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, responded to this threat by starting a proxy war in Afghanistan. Around 1975 itself, the ISI, Inter-Service Intelligence, had been operating and giving support to anti-government groups in Afghanistan. Even though Dawood Khan came into a tentative agreement with Bhutto in the case of Durand Line, the political scenario in Afghanistan took an abrupt change. The PDPA, People Democratic Party of Afghanistan, was not satisfied with the policy and the autocratic governance of Dawood Khan. Through what was came to be known as the Saur Revolution, they assassinated Dawood Khan and his family and captured power in Afghanistan. The period of PDPA government was in fact a period of political turmoil in Afghanistan. Mujahideen groups start emerging and they started a war against the PDPA government. This caused the Soviet Union, who shared its border with Afghanistan at that time, to step in to restore balance and peace in this region, because they feared that this turmoil might spread into its own regions. At the same time, Pakistan was also undergoing a political change. Zia-ul Haq, the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan, in a military coup deposed Zulfikar Ali Bhutto's government and became President of Pakistan. He was conservative in nature. The actual Islamization of Pakistan occurred under his regime. Pakistan was worried about the growing Soviet presence in Afghanistan. There are two reasons for this. One, Pakistan were an ally of US during Cold War. Second, they feared that the Soviets might invade Balochistan. In order to hinder the growing Soviet presence in Afghanistan, with the help of ISI, under the tutelage of Zia-ul Haq, CIA launched Operation Cyclone. The aim of the operation was to push Soviets out of Afghanistan. In order to achieve this, they gave weapons training, religious education to various Mujahideen groups who were fighting against the Soviets in Afghanistan. Al-Qaeda and Taliban are some of the organizations which benefited from this operation. The result of this operation was the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Afghanistan. But this actually changed the dynamics of entire region. When the Soviets left the Afghanistan, there was a power vacuum in the region. This had led to a civil war in Afghanistan. At that time, Pakistan thought of placing somebody who is favorable to Islamabad in power. So they supported Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, a religious hardliner, in the tug of war for power. But he brought war to Kabul city itself and bombed the city into rubble. Some people refer him as the butcher of Kabul. This caused him loss of support among his fellow Afghanis. This made Pakistan to shift its support to Taliban. In the midst of this chaos, Taliban emerged as the most prominent group. Taliban captured power in Afghanistan in 1996. Thus, Pakistan's vision of a conservative and subordinate Afghanistan was recognized. Pakistan enjoyed complete trade monopoly during the reign of Taliban. Pakistan tried to exert control over Taliban, but Taliban effectively maneuvered in between, keeping its independence. Even though Taliban openly didn't contest the validity of Durand Line, they argued that there should not be any border separating Pashtun brothers living in Pakistan and Afghanistan. This honeymoon came to an end with the notorious September 11 attacks. This adds a new chapter to the ever-changing story of Afghanistan. After the September 11 attacks in 2001, the infuriated US demanded Taliban to hand over Osama bin Laden, who was the mastermind behind September 11 terrorist attack. At that time, Afghanistan was a safe haven for Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. Obviously, Taliban denied this demand. Rest is the history as we know. The NATO forces invaded Afghanistan and toppled Taliban. During this time, Pakistan was caught up in a dilemma whether to side with the US or to support Taliban. Due to international pressure and fear of losing aid from the US, the Pakistan provided logistic supply and allowed US to operate from air bases in Pakistan. Even though Pakistan sided with the US, they carried out clandestine operations to securely transport the top Taliban leaders and ISI agents operating in Afghanistan into Pakistan. The prime example of this one is the Kunduz airlift, which is nicknamed as the airlift of evil by the US, in which the Pakistan successfully airlifted top Taliban commanders and ISI agents out of the region of Kunduz before the Northern Alliance, an ally of US, attacked this region. The US were not happy with these actions of Pakistan, but Pakistan carried out this kind of operation because they thought this might give them leverage in the post-war Afghanistan. The present scenario suggests that this actually paid off well for them. The relationship between the US and Pakistan strained after US killed Osama bin Laden in Abbottabad in Pakistan under Pakistan Army's nose. This was a blot on Pakistan's face. This caused Pakistan to shift towards China. The Afghan war has caused many issues in Pakistan, including refugee issue, and one serious issue that emerged in Pakistan is the emergence of Tehrik-e-Taliban. In Afghanistan, the Al-Qaeda fighters consisted of both Afghans and foreign nationals. At the height of the war, these fighters fled into Pakistan, especially Fatah area, that is federally administered tribal areas, which are semi-autonomous. The Pakistan army incurred into this region to hunt down these terrorists, and they gave permission to US to conduct air strikes on these targets. This caused resentment among these fighters and their sympathizers. They gave rise to this group, Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. Their primary enemy was Pakistan Army. Initially, Pakistan didn't consider this as a threat, but the brutality and the enmity of this group towards Pakistan is revealed in Peshawar school massacre, in which innocent children were killed. This was a wake-up call for Pakistan. The Pakistan army launched a witch hunt to hunt down these terrorists. They brutally suppressed this organization. Some of the members of this organization left Tehrik-e-Taliban and joined IS Khorasan. This made Pakistan to reconsider of sheltering Taliban and other groups in Pakistan. The best way to get rid of them was reinstate them back in power in Afghanistan. They thought this might help to check the growing fraternity feeling above these kind of groups in Afghanistan and Pakistan. That is why Pakistan played a key role in the negotiations between US and Taliban. Apart from all these factors, the growing presence of India in the region was also considered as a threat by Pakistan. In the war-torn Afghanistan, India was a key participant in rebuilding of Afghanistan. India built dams, parliament building and other infrastructure developments in Afghanistan. The pro-India policy taken by Hamid Karzai and Ashraf Ghani was also considered as a threat by Pakistan. They needed a pro-Pakistan government in Afghanistan. That is why they aided and facilitated for the resurgence of Taliban. These are some of the factors that shaped Pakistan's policy towards Afghanistan. The Afghanistan history is like a roller coaster ride with a lot of twists and turns. Don't know what future is holding for Afghanistan. Let us wait and see what is happening to this region in future. I hope this video was informative. Thank you. Have a nice day.